Tomcat, which is directed by Handel Klaus and is a very difficult film to review, both in terms of its subject matter and how much one should say about it. So I'm going to tread carefully. It is a story about a couple that we meet who have an apparently idyllic relationship. They laugh, they live, they love, they cook, they share. One of them is an orchestra administrator, the other is a French horn player. And their life seems pretty impressive and really very happy. For about the first half hour of the movie, one of their primary concerns is the well-being of their cat. And they love their cat, which means, I love them even more. So they're musicians and they love their cat and all that sort of stuff. And then about half an hour through, something very jarring and very unexpected happens. And it is something which suddenly causes a rupture in their relationship. One of them does something, and the question is, can the other one forgive them for having done it? Can the relationship recover from this one apparently completely out of the blue, arbitrary thing that's happened? And what the rest of the movie then proceeds to do is to sort of dissect, whether a relationship can get past that. And I think a comparable way of saying it would be, imagine that the thing that happens is an infidelity, that you have a apparently loving relationship and then somebody goes off and has a one-night stand. And there are many movies that have dealt with that. None spring to mind at the moment, but there are many movies which have done that, that kind of... that.
I understand.
But it's not that, it's something else, okay?
Is it an unfortunate event?
It's a very, very unfortunate event. Now, here's the thing. Firstly, when the unfortunate event happened, because I didn't know anything about the movie beforehand, I was genuinely taken aback, but genuinely shocked and thrown. That, as you're meant to be. The film then, as I said, spends all this time asking, is it possible for that trust which has been broken to be rekindled? On the one level, the film is dealing with that kind of broiling undercurrent of, the potential for male aggression and male violence that, or the broiling undercurrent of bourgeois society that Haneke dealt with in something like Benny's Video. But what happens is that the film gives you a portrayal of a relationship in which one person is struggling to ask whether they can ever trust the other person again. And I found most of the film struggling to ask whether I could trust the film again, because I found myself weirdly in a position with the film that I felt that the film had betrayed my trust. Now, that is not to say that that the way in which the film is constructed is not actually, therefore, on a very clinical and technical level, well, that's what it's meant to be doing. You're meant to be living in this kind of lovely, idyllic bubble, and then something horrible happens, and it's very fleeting and very sudden, but it infects everything after it. And I think that is an interesting idea, and on an intellectual level, I can appreciate the film. But I spent the whole of the rest of the film trying to get back on board with the film in the very same way that one of these characters tries to get back on board with the other character. And I never did. And in a way, there may be something oddly appropriate about that, but it was something that troubled me enormously and left me thinking that in the end, what this is an interesting clinical exercise, but not a film that I can recommend. Plus, I have to say, if you are somebody who is at all squeamish, I'm trying not to.
What? If I'm at all squeamish,
do you love cats?
No, I hate cats.
Do you?
I do, yes, because I'm allergic to them, and wherever I go, they cause me to wheeze, cough, cry, and...
Okay, all right. Well, then you might feel more warmly towards it. Okay,
it's a personal thing.
It's a personal thing.
I don't look at them and say... In fact, when
You've changed it, but what's just happened in our relationship now is like what just happens in Tomcat. I just don't know whether we can ever get back from that. I don't know whether we can ever get back from that.